In this video, we're recreating the 808s that Pharrell uses in his music. We're specifically going to focus on the songs Cash In, Cash Out, Scrape It Off, In Your Eyes, and although it's not quite an 808, it's still a popular song by Pharrell, we're going to do Down in Atlanta. So, here are the 4 steps to make an 808 sample. Step 1, start with the tone of your sound. This is the foundation, and this is what creates the character for your 808. Step 2, create more punch to the sound by adjusting the envelopes for that initial attack. This sounds complicated, but it's actually one of the easier steps to do. Step 3, set the volume decay so our sound fades out. And step 4, export your 808 as a one shot and tune it to C. Now we know the steps to make an 808 bass sound, let's use them to recreate the bass sound from In Your Eyes. Step number 1, the tone. For this, most people usually start with a clean sine wave or even a TR-808 sample and then distort it to make it cut through on your laptop speakers. But instead of just throwing a distortion on, we're going to use additive synthesis because distortions add harmonics to the sound, and what we can do is add our own harmonics by drawing it in with additive synthesis. Sound design is about creating your own personal sound, so really take your time to dial in each of these sliders so your sound hits exactly how you want it to hit. Next, we're going to add a filter to smooth out the frequencies and make them sound a bit more pleasant to the ear. Step number 2 is all about adding punch to our sound, so let's dial in the envelopes. Assign envelope 2 to the pitch. This is going to make the pitch glide down very fast for a punchier sound. Then we're going to add envelope 3 to the filter drive, and this is going to be adding a bit more distortion at the start of the notes. Step number 3, set the volume decay so your sound fades out. To do this, we're just going to adjust envelope 1. Step number 4, export your 808 as a one shot and make sure it's tuned to C. Our next sound is the bass from Cash In, Cash Out. If you want to download any of the sounds we made in this video, we have them all available in my Patreon, and there's 400 plus sounds in there that we've remade from different artists, so check it out. This sound has a more complex tone to the other 808 that we just made, and I'm going to show you an easier way to dial in the tone if you're new to sound design. So before we start making this song, Cash In, Cash Out, Cash In, Cash Out, we're going to drop the song into Logic and use the stem splitter. If you don't have Logic, you can use Fader, or you can use Azto RX or any other stem splitter that you have. Isolate the bass stem, and we're going to use this as a reference to build our sound. Load Span Spectrum Analyzer and set it to 4096 mode so you can see the harmonics more accurately. Now what we need to do is copy the harmonics that we see and draw it in. Once it sounds close, we're going to smooth it out with a filter. Then we're going to add some distortion to get that fuzzy tone. I'm using raw in the tube preamp mode. And finally, we're going to run it through Cradle's Orion to make it hit a bit harder. Step number 2 is all about adding punch to our sound. So let's dial in the envelopes. Add a pitch glide by sending envelope 2 to the pitch. Then we're going to add some more punch by sending envelope 3 to the filter drive. Adjust the volume decay of the sound so it suits your beat. If you want a really short 808, do a shape like this. But I usually go for longer 808s because they give you a bit more flexibility on how you can use it in your music. When you're done, export your 808 as a one shot and make sure it's tuned to C. Sometimes Pharrell doesn't use an 808, so for our final sound of this video, we're making the bass from Down in Atlanta. Start with a sine wave. Add the FM from oscillator 2. And to give it a more punchy sound, we're going to use envelope 2 to adjust the FM amount. If you found this video useful, subscribe to learn more about sound design.